Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to Lost in the Wasteland, my show where I interview somebody each week and we get a deeper perspective into their perspective on movies. And back again for round two is Kristin, Miss Filmingo. So, Kristin, thank you so much for coming back on.
Hello, I'm so happy to be back. It was a hot minute since I was on the Wasteland or I was in the Wasteland.
Yeah,
Because
there
the
you
last
go.
time I was on was when we talked about the Lady Killers for your director's like delve in deep dive.
And you had the dude behind you the whole
Yes, I
entire
had the
time.
dude behind me, and I don't have him today. He
That's
couldn't make
okay.
it.
Well, if you ever want to come back on, now we're jumping into Scorsese.
I
So,
know. I got to figure out a time I want to figure out a time to come back on the show because I really enjoy our conversations that we have. And I have to figure that out. So, I mean, Scorsese is like a no brainer in my book. So I'll watch
well,
anything that he
I'm going
does.
to be doing his films until June. So we have plenty to choose
Wait, did
from.
you say June?
June, literally.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I cut two out because I couldn't find them. They're like pretty early on documentaries of his, but I have 38
Okay.
films to dig through. So plenty to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt that like you can like have a Scorsese film and have it like be like at least like, I don't know, like 50 or so.
Well, it's crazy because it's like you don't really conceptualize how long 38 weeks is until you actually look at the calendar and like, oh my God, I'm going to be doing this
That's
until
like
June.
longer than a semester in like college.
Well, the
Honestly,
funny thing is, I started it before our semester started. I'm going to be doing it after the school year ends. So there you go.
that's one way to do it.
Indeed. But so we're going to jump into things now. And obviously, these are different questions from the last time you were on because what would be the point of that? But now, Kristin, what's a previously released film you have never seen that you're most excited to go and check out?
Okay, this one was a question I had to think about for a while. Let me think. Quarantine was a really good time, I will say that, because I saw so many films that didn't get to like watch before.
Mhm.
And like I Tanya, like that was really good. And I watched The Place Beyond the Pines, which was something I really wanted to watch for the longest time. And then I heard it was leaving Netflix, and then I was like, oh, I better hop on this train. And I loved it. And I was like, oh man, I wish I saw it sooner. But this is a really good question because between I feel like it's a lot of stuff that I just haven't seen, like a lot of Bong Joon-ho stuff I really want to watch, like his earlier career stuff.
Mhm.
I want to see. I haven't seen like all the Joel and Ethan Cohen brothers films. I think I feel like I don't know. This is a really good question because it takes me some time because there's so many films out there. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's a good
Um,
time to catch up on some Coens now that they've taken a break.
yeah, honestly, I don't know. I guess what I would have to say right now, because we're in the spirit now of James Bond.
Mhm.
There's some James Bond films I haven't seen, and one of them might have been. It starts with a T, and I can't think of it.
Thunderball.
I think it was that one. I haven't seen that one because I'm like behind on a lot of the old school
Yeah.
Bond films. I feel like most people are on behind on the old school ones, except for like the Pierce Brosnan or like the you know, Daniel Craig. Because I really enjoy Bond. I really, really do. And I'm sad to see, Daniel Craig finally hang up his crown as the ultimate Bond. But I'm excited for that direction, and I want to go back in time and see what capped Bond into who he was. We all know him for the shaken not stirred, you know,
Mhm.
and for all the gadgets and women. But I really want to see like what he was doing, like in the old school days with like Sean Connery. Like I enjoy some Sean Connery, don't get me wrong, but I want to
Mhm.
see some of them. Like I've seen maybe one or two Sean Connery ones, but I haven't seen like the other ones. I didn't even see the one where there was that one Bond film where it was like the one guy, he was only casted in it once. I forgot what his name was, but he was like
George
casted it.
Lazenby was in
Yes.
on Her
He was,
Majesty's Secret Service.
yes. And he was like listed as one of the worst Bonds ever.
It's a tough go because like one, he had to follow Sean Connery, who
Mhm.
at that point was like for most people the only James Bond. And
Of
George
course.
Lazenby was a model and from
Mhm.
Australia, and they throw him in. But the thing is, his film is one of the best James Bond movies. On Her
Really?
Majesty's Secret Service, it's very heavily influenced by French New Wave filmmaking.
Mhm.
Telly Savalas is a fantastic Blofeld, and it's one of the deepest, richest emotional connections that you get with Bond, besides probably like Casino Royale, because like he falls in love, legitimately falls in love. And Granny Tyrell herself, Diane Riggs, was the woman he falls in love with and actually marries in it.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because like it's funny because I'm gonna be on the Sif Pop Writers Room to talk about Bond.
Oh yeah.
Because I have been watching James Bond movies since I was 8 years old.
So is
And
my dad. So
I have seen them all plenty of times, and I have my Blu-ray Bond collection up there.
is that like the
And
big box one?
yeah, the like it's big box, all in like white cases and everything, all 24 of them
Oh
I
my
own.
gosh.
And Thunderball is because like the first three James Bond films, Doctor No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, are all like the toppest tier James Bond movies. And like Thunderball is just like a step below, but it's still great Sean Connery. It has a lot of iconic things in it. And also, fun fact, if you're paying attention, watching all the trailers for Last Night in Soho, when she goes through time and she walks past that theater right
I did
across
notice that.
the right there is Thunderball, and it's just like it's James Bond. Also, low key, probably one of my favorite Bond themes is from Tom Jones, who sings the song Thunderball. So it's a fun one, and it's definitely one of the strong earlier ones because like from there they kind of start dipping a bit in terms of Sean Connery ones, and then you can tell they roped him back in for Diamonds Are Forever, and that's a horrible movie.
Yeah, I remember reading a couple of reviews for that and not being the best. And I just it seemed to lack my interest in that one. Or
Honestly, you
that
could skip it.
yeah. Um but James Bond is one, and I can't think of others. I feel like I need to look back on my Netflix watch list.
Well, it's funny because like this is like the watch list question. It's like what's that movie that's like sitting at the top of your watch list? But you definitely shared a couple of different ones. Obviously, I always approve of James Bond and the Coen, so it always makes
I
me happy.
definitely have more on my list. I mean, I'm just like, I just pulled it up now, and one of them is like one of Timothy Chalamet's films, and it's called The King with Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah, the Netflix original. Like, I haven't seen that. Oh, and one film everybody keeps telling me to see, and here's the thing: I am obsessed with dogs, and for anybody that knows me, I'm a dog freak. And it's Hatchie and Dog's Tale, and it
Okay.
makes everyone I know has seen it and cried, and I know I'm gonna cry if I watch that. And I kind of want to watch it, but I refuse to because I know I will cry, and I don't always like it when I cry during movies because I know I sometimes I always can't enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But Hachi looks incredible from it's like a filmmaking standpoint. But yeah, I haven't seen that one. Let's see what else I'm even like digging down even to the depths of my watch list. Let's see. Hmm. Well, Community is still on my watch list, even though I've seen that like 15,000 times. But other than that, I'll go with those films.
Awesome. Now, shifting the perspective a little bit from something that's previously released, but what's the one film that hasn't been released yet that you're most excited to see?
Oh, this is a great question because on my podcast we were just talking about the like fall movie guide of all films that are set to be released for the rest of the year. And there's so many that I really want to see. It's hard to pick just one, to be honest. Between the newest, even Venom looks really good because, we got Andy Serkis directing it. Last Night in Soho, but I know I'm seeing, some, up and down reviews with that one. With Edgar Wright, I adore Edgar Wright. Denis Villeneuve's Dune, of course, it's been released everywhere for the most part, except here. You gotta wait and suffer for another month.
Yeah,
so,
legitimately another month.
Nightmare Alley, of course, with Guillermo del Toro. That looks stunning, and I just saw The Blue Bayou last night, and I loved seeing it on a theater screen. It looked so good.
It's funny, I saw Blue Bayou last night as well, and that was the first time I saw the Nightmare Alley trailer.
It looked excellent, and I was just like, it was such a huge difference from seeing it on my computer and then all of a sudden seeing it on a giant screen with Kate Blanchett and Rooney Mara and Willem Dafoe and not Robert Pattinson. Oh my gosh, Bradley Cooper. It was really, really awesome. And of course, Spider-Man: No Way From Home, because I'm also a huge Spider-Man freak. What else? House of Gucci looks awesome with Lady Gaga. She's really campaigning for that Oscar role, and the cast alone is incredible.
That trailer, though. Every time I watch it, I'm like, this movie is so extra and I can't wait to watch it.
I know, it's going to be great. And it reminds me of the intensity of the Versace series, American Crime. I don't know if you've seen those.
Yeah. I like everybody else. I absolutely loved the OJ one.
That was the best one. Versace was good though, but the trailers for it to sell it off were really good.
I've been watching Impeachment, and I'm just like,
I really want to watch that one, but the way my subscription works, I don't get live TV for what it is for Hulu, and they don't let you even though it's kind of like a Hulu and Netflix original, they're not releasing it just yet, and I don't know why.
Well, and the tricky thing is I've been watching it because I have Hulu Live, and they're they have all the ads and stuff, and it's an hour and a half to sit through an episode. I'm like,
yeah, that's how it is for when I used to watch American Horror Story, when I used to have, cable, basic cable, we have I'm still at home with my parents, and they have one box set, and then otherwise it's all Roku nowadays because that's what everybody watches, but so I don't really get the FX Shire certain channels anymore. So whenever, if I want to watch American Horror Story, it's great now because it's only an hour because they cut down all the commercials for it, and I don't even have to watch an hour and a half of American Horror Story.
There you go.
Well, a lot of good stuff coming out. What about you? What are you most excited to see?
So you probably could have guessed how much I am a fan of James Bond.
Well, so besides Bond.
So No Time to Die actually coming out is a big deal for me. And it's just
you should dress up as Bond and go in with a full-on tux, and then.
Well, here's the funny thing. So my brother and I have do a show together. Now we've only gotten through 2 episodes, but it's the Wasteland reviewer and Dante Rowe show. And that's his cosplay persona. And our next episode is going to be diving into James Bond and Archer. And we're going to be dressed up for the show.
Wow, I love it.
I'm excited. But yeah,
that's good.
It's funny because Ethan, my brother, dressed up as Tony Stark when we went to go see Endgame. He even shaved his goatee it. And I came from work. I just happened to have a green shirt on that day. So I'm like, I'm Bruce Banner. So, but
I love it when people dress up.
If I do get to go to Bond with my brother, we're probably going to suit up.
Oh yeah.
The only way
I'm going to do that for Top Gun. I was so anxious to do that for when it was supposed to come out. November. Now it got delayed
Yeah,
again.
it was supposed to
So
come out my birthday weekend. I'm like, yes.
that's a great birthday present.
I think I have Ghostbusters though after
That's not a
coming
that's a
out,
great
so I'm
that's a
still
great
pretty
one.
excited about that. It's either No Time to Die or French Dispatch. I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan, so I'm ready. So those are
Yeah.
definitely the ones I'm most excited about.
I'm also excited for Ghostbusters. I should add that in too.
Any throw Paul Rudd in anything.
I'll watch
I'm
Paul
that
Rudd in
much
just
more
about anything. I
excited.
was talking about it yesterday on my show, and so mostly everybody wasn't ready for a new Ghostbusters film, but I'm ready for it.
I'm so I
I
didn't
like
I didn't like hate the female reboot of it. Like I thought it was but the fact that this is actually building off of the actual Ghostbusters gets my attention a lot more. And you throw Paul Rudd in, it just makes it that much better.
Mhm.
But now, Kristin, shifting gears away from thinking about films that you're excited about, a lot of people are hating on remakes at this
Yeah,
point and
you
reboots.
don't want to do remakes.
But if you could, what is one movie that you feel like really needs to be remade?
This is a really good question. I was thinking about it, and I came up with films that shouldn't be remade.
There's a lot
And
that we would be on here for a while.
I feel like when I've had this conversation with people in the past, most of the time people say, like, when they say don't remake anything, most of the time they say it's like the Breakfast Club, which is an obvious answer. You don't want
Yeah.
to screw up that. But I would have to say, I think it would be cool for one of the Disney princesses should be remade into a live action, either
Mhm.
like a Sleeping Beauty, like a different, not just Maleficent,
Like an
Sleeping
actual
Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty one.
Yeah, or like Pocahontas. I think that would be really cool and empowering for like young girls.
The New World by who directed that? Wasn't Terrence Malick? The New World with Colin Farrell in it, more or less, because he was John Smith and everything. This new
Yeah.
live action Pocahontas is going to be like how it really went down.
Yeah, I feel like that one would be interesting to watch. What do you think? What about you? If you had to remake anything, what would you want to remake?
So I have two that I think I would definitely remake. And this one of them is going to sound obnoxious because like there's three versions of it already. But you know, if A Star Is Born can do it, why can't this one? Is I Am Legend. Because
Okay.
I want there to be like a true, honest adaptation of that book eventually. Because I do really like the Will Smith film because like he's fantastic in it. But they just made them like these seemingly mindless like zombie thingies. And I guess that was cool at the time. But like because I Am Legend is one of my favorite books of all time, and it's terrifying. And the vampires taunt him and play with him and toy with him. And I think that's so interesting. And you completely lose that in that. There's the Omega Man, which is the Charlton Heston version, which is like not really faithful at all. And then you have the Vincent Price, The Last Man on Earth. But like I would like do a true to form I Am Legend. And one that I think would be really cool with modern technology would be Metropolis, which
Yeah.
because like I feel like something made that long ago, being able to, it's been like
or like a
100
trip
years.
to the moon, or like a trip to the moon, maybe.
that would be funny because that would be one of those kinds of remakes where it's like, let's take an 8-minute movie and make it into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, honestly.
There's so much stuff into it, and like fighting lizard people on the moon, stuff like that.
It would be great.
But I feel like Metropolis would still be timely and would be very interesting to create today. And I 100% already have one of the casting choices, mad scientist Christopher Walken.
Okay.
Because if you've seen Metropolis and seen what the actual mad scientist looks like, all I can see is Max Schreck from Batman Returns with Christopher Walken with that crazy white hair and everything, or even him from Click, to be perfectly honest. So like,
I just feel like he would be so, like nowadays when I think of Christopher Walken, all I just think is just like he's so cartoonish nowadays. I feel like because of his voice, because everybody just wants to impersonate him. I just feel like I don't think he would pull it off as much.
Maybe he has a little bit more left in the tank, because like I've seen some movies lately where he was pretty good in it. He had this film that came out. I'm trying to remember what the hell the name of it was. It came out earlier this year where he played a farmer.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that come out.
And that was a solid performance from him. He did a really good job. That Irish movie where he tried to put on an Irish accent, that was bad. Like, I
didn't see it though, but I just heard some things about it.
It was silly, but like he can still be intimidating. Him voicing King Louis in the Jungle Book, top notch.
I just don't think he can sing like most people think he can. I don't think he can sing.
I think it depends on what you ask him to sing.
Because I thought his voice in that as King Louis, it was so good until he opened his mouth and sang, and I just hated it.
You did,
and like, I was just like,
"We do want to be just like."
Yeah, and I remember him singing in Hairspray with John Travolta. I mean, I tried to like it, but it was just like, okay.
He has some decent moves though.
He does. He can dance. Like, what is it?
Fat Boy Slim.
Yes, I was gonna say video. That's just an iconic music video. Honestly, that should be a remake of that music video.
Yes, let's remake the. Who do we have dancing at this time? That's a question.
Anybody from the Avengers? Like, I feel like somebody like what is it? Or somebody like Tom Hiddleston, I feel like could bring some moves.
I would watch that music video. That's the most important question I could have asked today. I'm glad that we got around to it. Now, I know the first time around, I always ask, what's the earliest memory of going to the movies?
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's your favorite and most fond. What's your fondest memory of going to see a movie in a theater?
Fondest. Okay. I have so many fond memories of going to theater. Like, especially like in the early 2000s, especially like when, this is so silly, but when Cheaper by the Dozen with Hilary Duff and Steve Martin and Bonnie Hunt came out, I remember going with my whole family to see it, and my dad's dad bought all the tickets for everybody, and we all watched Cheaper by the Dozen because not just the grown-ups wanted to see it. He wanted to make all the grandkids happy because there's Hilary Duff in it. Yeah. So it was a good marketing move to cast her, and
because it's like everybody was watching their Lizzie McGuire.
Exactly. I was like one of the big people of that, and then of course my mom taking me to see like Freaky Friday, of course, and like we were bonding over that film. And then I remember getting the VHS tape for Christmas and just like wearing it out, and because my friends and I used to quote it a lot.
It had Lindsay Lohan in it, right?
Yeah, that's the one with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Lindsay Lohan at the time, so hot right then.
Yeah, she was just like on the bucket train right there of like being in all those films for Disney, and it was
Mean Girls great. Too.
And then Herbie, don't get me wrong, I love some Herbie Fully Loaded. I don't care how bad it is. I enjoy that guilty pleasure. But
it's important to say Herbie Fully Loaded is one of Ron Swanson's 3 favorite films.
That is true. And it was so funny going back to the question about which film would be remade. There was at one point in my life where I was like, I want to make the next Herbie Fully Loaded.
There you go.
When I was a kid. So like, I didn't know what, and I was like so excited because I'm like, oh yeah, Lindsay Lohan will still be irrelevant, and like Michael Keaton will still be around, and they would still be like racing against Matt Dillon with some race.
Technically Matt Dillon is still working, and Michael Keaton's thriving. Michael Keaton. So
Michael Keaton's always thriving, let's face it though, but I'm sure he would love to come back and race with Herbie, let's be honest. Honestly, I wouldn't mind.
What I appreciate most about him is he can really act. He's a
Oh,
fantastic
oh
actor,
yeah.
but I feel like he doesn't have that judgmental like that's too low for me. Like he'll do silly fun things and
Like how he was in Dumbo. Remember when he was in Dumbo? Like,
yeah, and there's a lot of people in Dumbo. You know, Disney
mhm.
can get whoever they want. But like the other guys where he's just like randomly the captain who's working a
And he's
second.
working at Bed Bath and Beyond.
He's like, I'm working a second job here so that my son could go to NYU to explore his sexuality. And he just keeps quoting TLC songs.
Yep.
And it's like, don't go chasing waterfalls. Like, TLC again, you have to know what you're doing here. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Alan. And it's like 100%. He's just playing with them.
It's great.
But there it is. The most important remake of the 2020s is going to be a new Herbie movie.
I will start a Kickstarter campaign or Indiegogo campaign. Disney does not have to get involved. I will somehow get the rights somehow.
There you go.
I will make sure it happens. But another funny story, I should tell this because I don't get to tell people this story too much, but one of my fondest memories, I think, is like when you, of course, go see a rated R movie when you're so young.
Uh-huh.
And one of them, of course, was getting to see Ted, the talking inappropriate bear. And it was so funny because it was like during the summer where I was going down to see my aunt a lot, and we would go out to eat and then, of course, go see a movie and do some shopping and make it like a girls' day. So it was my sister who was going into the 8th grade, and I was just going in to be a sophomore in high school. And we were like, Mom, let's go take Auntie Patty and let's go see Ted. And my aunt wanted to see it because she liked the bear, of course, everybody else. And she's like, oh, this won't be that bad. And my mom's like, yeah, it won't be that bad. Meanwhile, you just hear her talking about like the worst things imaginable that a cute teddy bear would be saying, which is the whole point. Yep. And me and my sister and everybody are mortified laughing. And then we're just enjoying the time of our lives. And as soon as we walk out of the theater, we're just like walking slowly, like talking about all the stupid parts that, Mark Wahlberg and, Ted were saying, singing Thunder Buddies. And my mother looks at me and she just says, you're not telling your father about this. And to make it even funnier, as a Christmas present that year, my aunt got me a Ted bobblehead. And every time it talked, it said something inappropriate.
Oh my.
So to this day, like my dad has never seen Ted or heard anything that comes out of Ted's mouth.
Oh, and I definitely have some fun questions for round 3, kind of related to that kind of stuff. Like, what's one film you watched when you way too young? And what's one movie you should never have watched with your parents? But that'll be the next time that you're on. We're going to save that
I have plenty of those.
Oh, I have some fun stories too. Now, what's a film that really exceeded your expectations?
Okay. I think one of them was, given how mixed it was with critics, The Wonderful World of Oz, the one with James Franco.
Oh, the Oz and Great and Powerful?
Yeah, that one. That's
fun with that movie.
I had fun with that movie. It really got me going, especially with Michelle Williams. And I mean, I enjoyed the corny performance of Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
And Rachel Weisz.
Meg yelling at you.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it. And despite it, I really, really liked it a lot. And I just remember being out of all my friends, like loving it.
Well, put this into perspective, because think about when that came out. That is the last feature film that Sam Raimi directed.
I know, which is crazy.
And now we get Multiverse of Madness, But like,
I know that's a great film to come back to and just go and direct.
yes, it's so weird watching Osmond Great and Powerful because you're sitting there watching it and like I trying to remember at the time if I had seen Evil Dead at that point. But like
Oh,
obviously I saw
okay.
the Spider-Man films, but like it's so interesting watching any Sam Raimi movie and just being like, this isn't a horror movie, but there that shot is. Because
Yeah,
like
honestly.
the point where Rachel Weisz like shows her true look and she turns around and it's like that quick zoom in like "Ah!" and it looks
Yeah.
like one of the Deadites from Evil Dead. I'm like, this is a Sam Raimi movie right
You know it's
there.
a Sam Raimi I can't say it's Sam Raimi movie when you're watching it. Especially like a young kid like if I were to see it like I was 5, I wouldn't probably have known what a Sam Raimi movie was, but given the effects of it and how grandiose he was able to bring back using the Spider-Man, visual technique and style, and
Yeah.
it was great.
And then having Bruce Campbell pop up and you're like, Sam Raimi must have something to do with this movie.
Yes, exactly.
Um,
That's one film. Let's see. I've always said Baby Driver always exceeded my expectations. La La Land, of course. I feel like that was a given. The Nice Guys, I always say.
love that movie. Did
That
you
film
bring
has
that
never.
up? Did you bring that up on the podcast?
Yep.
Because you ever want to talk to Aaron about anything, you bring up the Nice Guys.
That's an outstanding standing film, and it never gets the full credit it deserves.
No, and it never got the sequel that it deserves.
No, I know. I feel like we all need to like campaign and like make it happen.
That's
We
the
didn't
tricky
need
thing, though.
we
Not
didn't
enough.
need a Predator film. We needed a Nice Guys 2 or like an HBO Max series or something.
So I was so down for a Shane Black Predator movie. So down. And then that's what we got. And then I'm just like, like,
I know.
why? It was a hot mess. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, wish I got a different movie than this. But that's the thing. Not enough people went to go see The Nice Guys. Didn't make
I
that much
know, and
money.
I feel like if it came out today or on something like an HBO Max, I think it would do really, really well. I just feel like oh, I can't talk. Sorry. I just feel like it might have been just released at the wrong time. And that's what happens with a lot of movies. Unfortunately, you release it at the wrong time with, what it's competing, what it's worth. I mean, it was released like in 2016, I believe, right?
Somewhere around there, yeah. But the thing is, it's tough because it's like it's an R-rated, like detective type story, and like Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe are in it. But like, I loved it. I could throw that on and watch that anytime. But
Same.
I guess it wasn't the biggest sell for everybody.
No, it wasn't. And it's hard for something like that. You couldn't even make it a PG-13 rating because the subject matter of it all, I feel like, was so racy. And
What do you mean, Cars? It had to do with automotive companies.
to an
Not
extent,
just that.
yeah.
Not just that.
No. Yeah.
It wouldn't have had the same spirit if it was PG-13.
No. And
You do not hamper Shane Black and just let him go.
exactly. So
Now, Kristin, what's a written work? So like a book or something that you wish would get adapted into a film?
I was thinking about this for a while. And for the longest time, I wanted 13 Reasons Why to be adapted.
Mm-hmm.
But of course it did. And I was in the spirit for a long time to get it adapted because I heard Selena Gomez was going to be a part of it. Like she was going to be casted as Hannah Baker. And I was so sold on that. And knowing how she is for mental health and advocacy and all that stuff, I was really, really excited. And I remember reading the book in high school and just like loving it. And then I heard it was going to be a series. And then, of course, she got older and it was an executive producer. That was great. And then I really loved the first season of 13 Reasons Why. Otherwise, and other than that, it goes straight down the garbage pail of, high school trauma Degrassi or like something like straight up bad, teen drama. And
I have that teen drama.
let's see. I think one book I really wanted to be adapted when I was a kid was a book called The Tale of Emily Windsnap, because it's like a girl that's a mermaid.
Okay.
And I was like really into mermaids when I was a kid, because I was really into The Little Mermaid. And I was like, this would be great. And I haven't even looked at that book. It's probably since like middle school, because it was like adapted into like, other stuff. I'm not even sure if it was even adapted in the first place, but if it was, I would have known about it. But yeah, I would have to say that. And there was a sci-fi series I did read at one point in school. I think it was called The Uglies, and that was going to be I wanted that to be turned into something. But then I was worried about, once I started studying film and like looking back and even thinking about this question, I was like, oh, could it be like a bad sci-fi teen adaptation where we got like, Divergent and what is it? What's the third one? Allegiance.
Divergent, Allegiance, something or another.
Yeah, like I was afraid it was going to turn to something like that, because it was like dealing with high class, low class, like maybe even some point like the Giver adaptation, like, because the Giver wasn't even that great either. So that's what I was worried about. And I feel like if you're going to adapt something from a book, it's so hard to do it from sci-fi, because sci-fi is so grand and big, and it's so hard to get the imagination of what the author visualized, and to make sure the director visualized it as well. So
yeah, that's always tough. The YA stuff, and especially like science fiction and fantasy, it's hard to make work.
Yeah, anything with a drama though, I feel like does justice though. Like if it was based on like, Water for Elephants, which I think is like completely underrated. Like excellent.
That one.
I think it's a
book. So
I think it's a pretty strong adaptation because that was the book I read, and then I went to go see the movie for. And I just remember it. Excuse my dog from barking if you hear that to anybody in the background. But yep, I'm gonna let her pass through. From what I remember, like I remember a character like just being cut from the film, but otherwise it was pretty strong to the book and how the movie was.
And that's always interesting, is being able to adapt a work, and sometimes it's a true adaptation and works, and sometimes it goes in a completely different direction and works, like any Kubrick adaptation.
Oh yeah,
like I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah, just take all the rights but do it my own way.
Exactly. Now, shifting gears a little bit into some of the other aspects of like, getting that hype for a movie. But what's your favorite movie trailer?
Oh, this is another good question. I would have to say the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer.
Hooked on.
I love the Hooked on the Feeling song featured. And I remember the day I sat down and I watched the trailer, I actually stayed up all night, like wanting to watch it on Jimmy Kimmel, but I fell asleep because that's when they were going to premiere the trailer. I fell asleep. As soon as I got to school, I was taking broadcasting, and, my teacher was like, okay, do whatever you want, for the day. I was working, on some stuff, and then I was like, oh, we could finally watch the trailer. And I did. And I almost had it on like full blast. And I was just like, this is coming out in August. And I remember like being like, I'm going to see this opening night. Love all the characters featuring like, Zoe Saldana and Chris Pratt and Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel and Dave Bautista, like everybody in there. Like I knew these were going to be characters we're going to love in the MCU. And just the direction of James Gunn in the first place, because I never really heard of James Gunn until like I was just getting prepared to see not Suicide Squad, that's what he just directed, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. So it was just like neat getting to know somebody that I didn't even know. And now he's one of the best filmmakers, of this time. Yeah. And not even realizing he wrote like Scooby-Doo. Like, and then I was like, my mind was like blown once I found that out.
Yeah, it was definitely a much more grown up Scooby-Doo.
Yes, when I found that out, when I was like studying like who he was that day, I remember sitting at the computer like looking it up and reading all about James Gunn, and I was just like, oh my god, he did Scooby-Doo. Like I was like my inner childhood was like full.
Now just imagine if you directed it too.
Oh, I would have watched it.
I remember watching it anyway. Watched that movie a lot growing up.
Do you like it? Like honestly, the Scooby-Doo?
I haven't seen it in a long time. So like younger Shane loved it. I don't know how 30-year-old Shane would react to that Scooby-Doo.
I loved it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was hilarious. Like in hindsight, I think it's hilarious that they had Scrappy, like a giant evil villain, because everybody hated him in the show because he's so annoying. But I watched a lot of Scooby-Doo growing up.
Oh, same. That was like what I lived and breathed. I have a Scooby-Doo plush, and I'm very sad how Scoob turned out when it was released last year. My expectations were just
Scoob,
sank.
The Addams Family, they just felt so soulless. And just
I don't even think I didn't even watch The Addams Family.
Well,
I know it's
now
on
because there's a new
Hulu,
one coming out.
I know I'm tempted to watch just the one that was released in I think it was really released in 2018 or 2019.
Yeah,
so.
It came out recently and it's not enjoyable.
I know from what I heard, and knowing the cast alone, like knowing Oscar Isaac is in that, and I'm just like,
yeah, you just like you waste them. Wasted it.
I don't even like how it looks too in terms of style and everything. It doesn't look normal.
Pretty
it doesn't look
looking.
Like it looks. It doesn't even look like it's finished rendering. That's what I think.
Yeah, no. But shifting gears into thinking about that element of movies that I think everybody appreciates, but maybe not talks about a lot, is the music.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's your favorite use of an actual song in a movie?
Okay, because this was something that I was kind of thinking about when you sent me a question like this. I was thinking about it, and now could it be a song written for the film? Could it be a song that was already made? Because I have different answers.
Give both.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, this is great because when I was younger, when I was a child, I loved What Dreams Are Made Of from Hilary Duff. Like that was like my go-to. Like that was written for the film, obviously. But then, other stuff came out for, of course, Can You Feel Love Tonight, from, Lion King is always great. Like anything like that. And then I feel like anything from a musical always stands close to my heart. So I'd have to say like City of Stars from La La Land.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my favorite song.
Get that Oscar.
Of course. I think it's just a wonderful, beautiful song. And it just plays so elegantly in the film. Even when the end credits roll and Emma Stone is just humming it, I think it just sounds so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody hasn't listened to that, go listen to it. But for a song used in a film, I would have to say, I don't want to say Hooked on a Feeling because I really, really liked that in the trailer. So I don't want to say that again as an answer. I would have to say, oh my gosh, this is really hard. I'll just go with, nah, that's not a good song though. Maybe, okay, I'll go with this one because I said Baby Driver. I love Bell Bottoms and Baby Driver.
Oh.
I just think that's so great because it really brings in the elevation of what Baby Driver is going to sell audiences to be.
Yeah.
And I just love how that song goes so perfectly well with driving since the character loves, driving to,
Mm-hmm.
The beat of the song. And, I think that's probably one of my favorite scenes that actually like uses a song in a film. So my favorite song would have to be that one. So I'll go with that.
Yeah, probably besides James Gunn, I think Edgar Wright is right up there in terms of how to use songs in their movies.
I know. I love how he did with the Sparks Brothers documentary. I thought that was really well executed, how it was with the music.
It made so much sense that he wound up directing.
He took it on.
He directed a documentary about a band because like music seems so important to all of his films and how he utilizes them, whether it's Queen in Shaun of the Dead or I love the Alabama song Whiskey Bar, how they use that from the Doors in The World's End. So silly.
That's the one of the Edgar Allan, I'm going to say Edgar Allan Poe. Oh my gosh. Edgar Wright films that I haven't seen.
And it's funny because I'm like the only person who's like The World's End's their favorite of the Cornetto trilogy.
Oh, really?
I love science fiction, and it's such a
I know that you love science fiction.
It's a wonderful send up of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and everything. I loved it.
Okay.
I love all three of them.
And I like the Body Snatchers too. So
yeah,
I just haven't seen that one. But otherwise, I've seen just about everything though he's directed.
And soon there'll be another. Just a couple more weeks. Now, instead of songs, what is your go-to score? So like, what's that one score that you would just throw on, just listen to?
There's a couple. Mostly though, 99% of the time, it's anything Hans Zimmer. I love me some Hans Zimmer. You know, anything from like Dark Knight, just outstanding. Even in the Batman versus Superman, despite how not great it is, I just like love listening to it.
Like the Wonder Woman theme, just it's like Is She With You? That piece of that scores.
I love the score though for 1984. I think that really helps the movie out a lot because I really liked 1984. I'm like one of those rare people who really, really enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, I love that film a lot. That was my number one film of that year was Blade Runner.
Not Blade Runner. I said not Blade Runner. I said Wonder Woman 1984, but that's what I was saying. But for Blade Runner is excellent though.
Yeah.
To go back to your
also I am also one of the only other people who actually enjoyed Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, I know. I did not get enough credit for it deserves. It was kind of
you know what? It's funny because I remember getting a screener for that a couple days early, and I'm sat and watching. I'm like, I really had a lot of fun with this. I enjoyed this.
Me too.
And I'm like, this is a good sequel. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like ripping it to shreds.
I know.
I'm like, did we watch different movies?
That's what I thought too. I got to go to a screener for it with my friend. And I was like, this is going to be great. And I really liked it a lot. And I enjoyed like, you know, Kristin Wiig and Pedro Pascal and
Life is Good.
Yes.
It could be better.
I really enjoyed it. And I really liked the score for it. And I thought it really sold it for what it was. And
it definitely like had that like jaunting kind of like Superman the movie kind of vibe. And I know a lot of people hated that vibe to the movie, and I'm like, made me sad. To be perfectly honest. I enjoyed it a lot. And
me too.
But like the score for like the Wonder Woman films, and like honestly, that's one thing that you can say the DCEU, they do great for scores. And I know it's a lot of people love Junkie XL,
I love him too.
Rework like his new score for like the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. I still enjoy Danny Elfman's. I thought it was a solid score, but I love Junkie XL. Me too. I listened to the Fury Road soundtrack.
I love that soundtrack a lot. I think that's one of the strong soundtracks that even has the score in general. So which
that made me so mad that didn't even get acknowledged for best score.
Oh, it should have been.
And it was a tough year, mind you, because like you had John Williams' Force Awakens score, and like obviously it's John Williams, and like Ennio Morricone won deservedly for Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
But like still, I listen to a lot of scores. Honestly, one of the reasons why I
What's
wanted
your
to ask that
favorite?
question. Like
Besides not Fury Road, though.
well, then I have to pick a different one.
Yeah, pick a different one.
It's interesting. Some of the scores. So, like, if you're thinking about pieces of music that I listen to a lot, honestly, I listen to Hans Zimmer's tracks from Dead Man's Chest a lot. Specifically, Davy Jones's theme and the Kraken theme are great. But like overall, like I remember listening to the Godfather score a lot,
Yes.
and
That's a great soundtrack.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which
Yep.
everybody loves the theme, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and Ecstasy of Gold. But Il Triolo, which is the score playing when they actually have that standoff at the end of the film. Oh, when that trumpet comes in, it's so perfect. And I love the Interstellar score. Interstellar with all the organs and stuff like that. I'm a huge organ fan. So listen to that. It's pretty cool.
I got to see Hans Zimmer in concert. That's one thing I always recommend. If anybody who's like a film nerd like us, big cinephile, that's the best thing you can do is go see him in concert, and he gives an outstanding show.
That's awesome. Maybe someday.
Yeah, someday.
Now, my last question for you, Kristin, is what is the one thing you wish that movies would stop doing?
Okay. I guess one thing would have to be giving too much away in the trailer. I think that's really big, and I can give a recent example, and it was because I know you really enjoyed the card counter because I read your review.
Yeah.
And I actually saw your video too. And for me, I didn't really like it as much. I thought the trailer gave a little bit too much away. You know, I really liked the trailer in general, but after I saw the film, one of the scenes in the trailer is that it gives away the final shot in the trailer. And I hate when films do that.
Oh, the worst is that all those amazing Spider-Man 2 trailers, and when they show the manhole cover like swinging at the rhino,
and we don't even get
like,
that.
Just know that's the last shot.
Yeah,
in the movie.
and they just cut like some stuff out that wasn't even in the film. So then it's like, why even release the trailer then? Release the teaser, like whatchamacallit, the teaser that we just even got of Nightmare Alley just sold me enough where it got me hooked. It has a great cast. You don't need much else. It sells it on for what it is. Like a trailer does not need to be like at least like 3 or 2 minutes long. Like even like a minute and 30 seconds can sell people just enough.
But don't tell that to anybody who makes Fast and Furious trailers.
Yeah, it's family. We got to show all the family.
God. Oh, I had
jumps.
such a ball with Hobbs and Shaw, but they literally gave the whole entire movie away in a almost 4-minute trailer. Why is your trailer 4 minutes? Why?
Yeah, I don't understand why people understand why studios have to do that. I mean, I understand because you want to make more off the video views and clicks and whatever. Well, that's important.
And the tricky thing is like us who love film and watch a lot of film are not the standard movie going audience.
No,
and they do tons of testing, and like people like general audiences want to know what they're going to get. Like, do you need to know exactly what you're going to get?
No,
like,
I think if you just watch it enough, because I feel like nowadays when you show a person something, as long as it's got like a celebrity that they know in it, then people are going to watch it. Like even with the star, like, what Netflix did with Addison Rae for the He's All That. Look how many clicks that got, even though the trailer was ridiculously long.
I haven't gotten around to watching that yet.
Don't. It's bad. It's so bad. You're going to save yourself a lot of time, honestly.
I've been getting a lot of screeners lately, so I've missed out on a decent amount of like the streaming and VOD movies that have come out like the past probably 4 weeks. That's one of them that I did not miss.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Just skip it. You don't need to see it. You're not missing much.
Just like, and it's interesting because like thinking about it's come out the past couple weeks, I haven't gotten a chance. Like I'm definitely gonna go back and watch that Michael Keaton 9/11 movie first
Oh yeah,
from
Worth.
Netflix.
Yes.
Definitely worth. I will go back and watch that new VOD movie of Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog
Oh yeah, a
before
lot
I'm
of people
gonna go watch.
I didn't even see that yet.
Yeah, I know that's on VOD, and like there's a new animated Mortal Kombat movie. There's that Witcher animated movie. And
Yeah,
like
I haven't seen that yet.
all higher on my list than going to check out that one.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Netflix.
I wouldn't recommend to it, but you'll probably be sold on a lot of Frito-Lay's products.
If it's
That
not as
movie-
obnoxious as Krispy Kreme from Power Rangers, I'll be very disappointed then.
From what is it? Or no, it's like they advertise a lot of going out to well, not a lot, because it's like in like 2 scenes, honestly. It's KFC. Can I take a bucket of KFC to go? And the girl's like, yeah. So she has it, and the girl leaves with a party with it. And
To be honest, I don't need
it sits in the middle of a 3-way conversation, and the bucket's still there.
Oh, trust me, I don't need a whole lot of convincing to eat some KFC.
That movie has so much product placement. It's freaking ridiculous. It's obnoxious.
Well, we'll stop blowing all the movies in the trailers and then stop obnoxiously putting product placement in movies. Unless it's Wayne's World, where it's like facetiously showing off a Pizza Hut pizza, and I'm like, no one want Pizza Hut.
Oh, speaking of Pizza Hut, that movie that's also in He's All That.
Can't eat Pizza Hut anymore. My 30-year-old body will not allow it anymore. But there you go. But that was my last question for you, Kristin. Now, the part of the show where my guest gets to ask me a question. So what would you like to ask the Wasteland reviewer?
I feel like maybe I've asked this question before, but I feel like I probably even asked this question when you came on my podcast.
It's all good.
M&K Productions podcast, just making a subtle plug.
Yes.
And sorry about the beeping. That's just my house.
All good.
Let's see. Probably one question I'm going to ask you is, we're in award season, and of course the Oscars are going to come up again. What is one category that the Oscars should start considering? Like, you can add a new category, like
I'm going to die on this hill, and it's motion capture performances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a huge fan of Andy Serkis.
Yes.
And like, come on. There's definitely enough now where you could consider this and give Andy Serkis a damn Oscar at this point.
He's going to get an honorary Oscar at some point in his career.
He has to. And if they don't, they're a bunch of jerks and don't deserve to give out awards. Because what he's been able to revolutionize with he didn't invent the technology, but he sure has championed it. And between the performances, his performances as Caesar are better than most actual live action performances. And it's just come on, people. So definitely the motion capture one, 100%. And give Mark Ruffalo a nomination over there for all of his Hulk work.
I'm sure Benedict Cumberbatch would have gotten nominated for Smaug.
The commitment to that performance. Dude sits and watches lizards at the zoo and then literally crawls around like a lizard, because I'm pretty sure he's a lizard person or an alien, one of those two things. But come on. So there needs to be some appreciation for that. And I don't know. And how the Apes movies not win special effects?
I don't know. It's kind of mind-boggling. It doesn't even get recognized, even. But
War for the Planet of the Apes was one of my top 5 favorite movies that year. That was way up there.
Oh yeah. I didn't like the first Planet of the Apes movie as much, but the second one, Dawn, really, really sold me on that.
which it didn't, because like that's when Matt Reeves took over the film.
Yep.
Because it was,
and that's what really elevated it for it.
Rupert Wyatt or something who did the first film.
Rupert Wyatt did the first film, and then Matt Reeves took over the last two, and now we got him for Batman. I'm really excited.
What's that? Bat.
One thing I would love to have them consider is a stunt team category, because now we have all these.
Where's John Wick's Oscars?
Because SAG has it for when they do it.
Yeah. And
so why not do it for Oscars?
And they nominated something really BS last year. I'm trying to remember, because I'm sure we talked about that on your show. I'm just like, what? But that's definitely something I think deserves to get recognized too, because
we have so much action movies nowadays. It's kind of like between the superheroes and then just like stuff like, Matrix Resolutions or Resurrection, whatever it's called.
Resurrections, yeah.
I just don't care for it.
They need to pick new R words.
Yeah,
Reload, Revolution, Resurrection.
Honestly. So between that and then just what we get with the Marvel films and just like John Wick.
And somebody had to be Clint Eastwood on that horse doing all those things in Cry Macho.
I didn't even see Cry Macho yet.
I watched it yesterday, and it's just very obviously shots of a stuntman on a horse.
Oh no!
Well, because
there was an article that just came up. Sorry to cut you off. But there was an article I just saw come up. I don't even know what website it was, but the headline said, like, Schwarzenegger was going to be Cry Macho. Meanwhile, Clint, took over the role. And I was just like, what? I didn't even finish reading the article.
He wanted Cry Macho to be his return, kind of, after he was governor. But, like, Clint Eastwood held on that project, and now we are 91 years old. It's I enjoyed it. He's
kicking butt though.
He keeps going.
No, his age. Yeah, why not?
And why not? But yeah, so that was a good question. They definitely need to recognize the non-traditional acting performances, whether it's stunts or motion capture. But Kristin, this was a lot of fun. And I completely forgot to let you shamelessly plug at the beginning of the show. So please shamelessly plug all of the things that you're involved in at the end of the show.
That's why we shamelessly plug now. You got to lead up to the anticipation. That's what movies do.
Usually I do it both times. So even in the end.
Even now, it's just as good. But anybody can follow me at Miss Filmingo on Instagram and on Twitter at KFilmingo. I write for a couple different websites, including Sip Pop, which, Shane is also a part of. So, but I write for Scry Mag, and then I'm just everywhere. You can catch me on the M&K Productions podcast. And if you want to talk movies, feel free to send me a message. I'm always down, always contributing to the cinephile community in any way I can. And other than that, thank you for having me. It's always fun to have you ask me to come on, or when I ask you to come on our show.
And we're going to make it work. We're going to find Sunday that works.
A Sunday that works, or at least a Monday afternoon at this point, because for anybody who doesn't know, the show is hosted by myself and my friend Mac at Mac Movie Reviews. So that's why it's called M&K Productions Podcast. And we talk films, news, entertainment news. We review a film, we take audience questions, we talk box office. We do a lot of fun things.
Oh yeah, I need to check the box office from this weekend.
I feel like the box office
need to know if Clint made some money.
I feel like the box office is dying down. I think at this point, I did see the box office for Tammy Faye, and it didn't do it just did like $600,000, and I'm just like, uh-oh.
I saw it on Saturday, and I enjoyed the film, but it was the worst film going experience I've had in a long time.
What happened?
Oh my God. There is 4 kids who were definitely
children.
They were like 12 years old. They were definitely theater hopping. And I'm pretty sure they thought, because like AMC doesn't post the names of the movies outside anymore of the theater. And I'm pretty sure it's because of this reason. And these kids are hopping between seats back and forth across the theater. COVID's still going on, little jerks and stuff like that. It's like, take some distance. But they started playing the Parallel Mothers trailer from Pedro Almodovar.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
the
what I saw
kids are
too
just
when I
like,
saw Timothy.
I think we're in the wrong theater. And it's just like, no crap, kids. And then these two people, so somebody picked the seat literally right in front of my fiance and I.
Oh my gosh.
And then two people picked the seats literally right behind us. And I'm like, there's 160 seats in this theater. You did
and
not
you
need
picked
to
those
sit
seats.
there. And the worst part was they were plus size people and were very obviously struggling. So they were literally grabbing onto my seat and Jess's seat to get up and out of the seats. And they were like almost touching us. And it's just like,
oh gosh.
They finally moved to different seats. And then the people in front of them moved seats because they couldn't stand them because they talked the whole entire movie.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Oh yeah, I'm also on TikTok too. I can't forget that too. There's a really great video of that on TikTok of me talking about my people who annoy me. So go follow me on TikTok at Miss Filmingo. So I haven't posted any in a while.
At TikTok when
go follow my too.
10 people that follow me right now.
It's okay. We'll get there someday.
Well, honestly, it's like I'm still trying it out and trying to figure out what I want to do with it. Obviously, I haven't like put my face on anything yet. It's all just like mini reviews and stuff like that.
That's fine.
Hey, spreading the word about the movies. That's the most important thing.
That's the important part.
But yeah,
just being yourself on there.
If you're going back to theaters, don't be an asshole.
Yeah, honestly, don't, please.
Don't be an asshole.
Just learn your theater etiquette. Learn what your mama taught you.
And my friends Matt and Alex, who I have my podcast with, Matt laughs because he is amused by the fact of how much I care about theater etiquette.
Oh, I'm the same way.
But that's a wrap today. Kristin, thank you so much for coming on. And thank all of you out there for always supporting your Wasteland reviewer.